Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you came there? 5 minutes later, you're standing in the kitchen holding a spoon, questioning every life decision that brought you to this exact moment. But then, somehow, your brain suddenly remembers the lyrics to a song you haven't heard in 8 years, or that embarrassing thing you said in 7th grade, or the Wi-Fi password from your childhood home. Seriously? Out of the billions of things your brain could remember, it chooses that? It feels like your brain has terrible priorities. Important meeting tomorrow? Gone. Your friend's birthday? Gone. Where you kept your passport? Absolutely gone. But the commercial jingle from 2012? Crystal clear. So, is your brain just bad at its job? Actually, no. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. And once you understand how it decides what deserves a permanent spot in your memory, you'll realize something surprising. Your brain isn't trying to remember everything. It's trying to help you survive. Let's start with a simple question. If I asked you what you ate exactly 47 days ago for lunch, could you answer? Probably not. Now, let me ask something else. Can you remember the first time you almost fell off your bicycle? Or that one time you accidentally called your teacher mom? See the difference? One memory disappeared forever. The other refuses to leave. That's because your brain has a very strict rule. Information is expensive. Your brain only weighs about 2% of your body, yet it burns around 20% of your energy every single day. It's basically that one roommate who eats all the food but somehow still says they're hungry. Remembering everything would be incredibly wasteful. Imagine if every conversation, every leaf you walked past, every face in a crowd, every license plate, every cloud stayed permanently in your memory. You wouldn't become smarter, you'd become overwhelmed. Finding one useful memory would be like searching for one specific grain of sand on an entire beach. So instead, your brain constantly deletes information. Not because it's broken, because forgetting is actually a feature. Think of your brain like your phone. If you never deleted photos, never removed apps, never cleared storage, eventually, everything slows down. Your brain does the exact same thing. Every day, it asks one question. Will this matter later? If the answer is no, delete. And that's where things become interesting, because your brain is actually terrible at predicting what you think is important. Instead, it follows its own rules. Rule number 1, emotion beats logic. Imagine 2 normal Tuesdays. On one Tuesday, you quietly ate breakfast, went to work, came home, watched YouTube, went to sleep. Nothing unusual. Now imagine another Tuesday. Someone surprised you with a puppy. Or you got into a car accident. Or you received the best news of your life. Years later, which Tuesday do you think you'll remember? Exactly. Emotion tells your brain this might matter. Whether it's happiness, fear, shock, embarrassment, or excitement. Strong emotions act like giant highlighters. Your brain says, oh, this seems important. Let's save this. That's why you remember embarrassing moments from 10 years ago. Your brain isn't trying to torture you. It simply noticed that your heart rate exploded and assumed this must be useful information. Unfortunately, your brain can't tell the difference between social embarrassment and being chased by a tiger. Both trigger powerful emotions. Both get saved. Now here's another strange rule. Your brain loves repetition. Ever had a song get stuck in your head? You didn't choose it. Your brain simply heard it enough times that it assumed, well, this keeps showing up, must be important. The same thing happens with advertisements, catchphrases, movie quotes, internet memes, even stupid jokes. Repeat something enough, and your brain starts treating it like valuable information.
It's basically the friend who believes every rumor because they heard it 3 times. But here's where most people accidentally sabotage their own memory. Let's say you study for an exam. You spend 4 straight hours reading, then close the book. Never think about it again. A week later, almost everything is gone. Why? Because your brain saw that information exactly once. It assumed, guess we didn't need this. Now imagine studying for just 30 minutes every few days. Suddenly, your brain notices a pattern. Oh, this information keeps coming back. Maybe we should keep it. That's why short, repeated learning almost always beats one giant study session. Your brain rewards repetition, not suffering. Now let's talk about attention, because this might be the biggest reason people forget things. Have you ever driven somewhere and suddenly realized you don't remember half the journey? Were you unconscious? No, your brain simply switched to autopilot. Memory starts with attention. If your attention never showed up, neither does the memory. This happens constantly. Someone introduces themselves. Hi, I'm Alex. 2 seconds later, you've already forgotten their name. Not because your memory is bad, because while they were speaking, your brain was busy thinking, should I shake hands? Do I look awkward? What do I say next? The name never even made it inside. You can't remember what you never truly noticed. Now here's something even stranger. Sometimes your brain changes memories. Wait, what? Yep. Your memories aren't recordings, they're reconstructions. Every time you remember something, your brain rebuilds it, like opening a document, editing it, and saving it again. Tiny details change. Conversations become slightly different. Faces become blurrier. Stories become more dramatic. Eventually, you stop remembering the original event. You remember the last version your brain created. That's why two people can witness the exact same moment, yet swear completely different things happened. Neither one is necessarily lying. Their brains simply edited the file differently. Which brings us back to useless facts. Why do random facts survive for years? Because they often connect to something emotional, funny, unexpected, or repeated. You don't remember that octopuses have 3 hearts because it's useful. You remember it because the image is weird. Your brain loves weird. Weird stands out. Normal disappears. That's also why stories are remembered better than lists. If I tell you milk, bread, eggs, butter, you'll probably forget them in a minute. But if I say, a stick man walked into a grocery store riding an elephant, bought butter, paid using bananas, and the cashier was a penguin, you'd probably remember that ridiculous story tomorrow. Not because it's important, because it's unusual. Your brain pays attention to what breaks expectations, which leads to one final lesson. Maybe forgetting isn't your enemy. Imagine remembering every single painful moment, every awkward conversation, every mistake, every insult, with perfect detail forever. You'd never move on. You'd relive everything. Forgetting creates space. It lets old pain fade. It allows new experiences to matter. In many ways, the ability to forget is just as important as the ability to remember. So the next time you forget why you walked into a room, don't be too hard on yourself. Your brain isn't failing. It's making thousands of tiny decisions every second about what deserves to stay and what should quietly disappear. Sometimes it gets those decisions hilariously wrong, which is why you can remember the entire theme song from a cartoon you watched as a kid, but not where you left your car keys 5 minutes ago. Your brain isn't a perfect hard drive. It's an imperfect survival machine. And maybe that's exactly why it's so fascinating. So here's a challenge. Tomorrow, pay attention to the tiny moments you actually want to remember. Look around, slow down, notice the details.
Because memories aren't created by time. They're created by attention. And the moments you truly notice today might become the stories you tell for the rest of your life.